I've developed my own power rankings algorithm for the purpose of eliminating the bias of name recognition. All of my rankings are 100% based off of 2020 stats and nothing else. The sample size isn't perfect yet, but I still find the results fascinating. Here are my power rankings after week 3. At 32, the New York Jets. The Jets stink. I honestly think that Sam Darnold is a better franchise quarterback than Baker Mayfield. But the soon-to-be fired Adam Gase seems to hold back talented players. At 31, the New York Giants. The Giants are a young team. If they can get healthy next year, they could take over their weak division. The NFC East is so bad, it makes the NFC South look like the NFC West. Am I right? At 29, the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings offense showed signs of life in week 3. Now, the Vikings aren't going to make the playoffs or anything, but they should have a similar season to the Falcons in 2020. Also tied at 29, the Houston Texans. Better days are ahead for the Texans, who started their season with the hardest schedule I've ever seen. In week 4, the Texans play the team I have tied with them, the Vikings. If the Texans want to have any chance of salvaging this season, they must win in week 4. At 28, the Philadelphia Eagles. I can't believe the Eagles punted in overtime. That isn't their team's identity. This is the team that ran the Philly special in the Super Bowl, and they played for the tie? The Eagles are in shambles right now. At 27, the Denver Broncos. The Broncos are a young, brutally injured team that is tanking this season. Not much else to say about them, really. At 25, the Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow tied a game before he won one. I'm not sure how to verify this, but he must be the first quarterback in NFL history to do that. Let me know in the comments if you can verify or deny this stat. Tied at 25, the Atlanta Falcons. This team is just cursed. It's honestly insane. At their best, they could probably give any team a run for their money. Obviously, Belichick and the Patriots gave the Falcons a curse, and someone from Atlanta needs some Eye of Newt or a sacrificial lamb or something. At 24, the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers lose Christian McCaffrey and get their first win of the season? You gotta love how unpredictable and competitive the NFL is. This is a rebuilding year for the Panthers, so any positive signs are promising. At 23, the Washington Football Team. The Washington Football Team is still somehow in first place in the NFC East through 3 weeks. What a disaster of a division that is. At 22, the Detroit Lions. Everyone was picking the Cardinals to beat the Lions in week 3, but Detroit showed they still got some fight in them, winning as big underdogs. The Lions will try to build on their momentum as they are once again underdogs, this time against the tail-spinning Saints in week 4. At 21, the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jaguars suffered an embarrassing loss to the Dolphins last Thursday, but the Jaguars were without DJ Chark, and Fitzpatrick was on fire in that game. I expect a low season-long win total for the Jags, but they are better than they looked last week. At 20, the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys are lucky that the Falcons are cursed, or the Cowboys would be 0-3 right now. Luckily, they play in the worst division in football, so the Cowboys can afford to lose more than any other playoff hopeful team. This week, the Cowboys have a tough but winnable matchup against the Browns, who are actually the next team in my power rankings. At 19, the Cleveland Browns. Week 1's disastrous performance is distant in the Browns' rear view. Now, the Browns are playing their brand of football. Ground and pound offense with multiple talented backs, and a stingy defense with dangerous pass rushers. That is a great recipe for success in the NFL. At 18, the Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers followed up an impressive losing effort in week 2 with a depressing losing effort in week 3. Herbert is a really promising young quarterback, but the Chargers need to balance their offense better. Asking a rookie making his second start to throw the ball 49 times in a 21-16 game makes zero sense. At 17, the Miami Dolphins. After starting their schedule against the Patriots and the Bills, the Dolphins dominated the Jags in week 3, showing off a couple of good young players on their offense and some talented playmakers on the defense. For a young team that is building for the future, that is exactly what you want to see. At 16, the New Orleans Saints. The Saints are probably too low in the rankings after back-to-back losses, but I'll be honest. I don't like the Saints' chances of going far in the playoffs this year. In 2020, the Saints seem like a good team. No longer do they seem like a great team. At 15, the Las Vegas Raiders. After a promising 2-0 start, the difficulty on the Raiders' schedule got turned up to legendary. They just got walloped by the Patriots, and their next 2 games are against the Bills and the Chiefs. That's almost as tough a 3-game stretch as the Texans' opening schedule. At 14, the Tennessee Titans. The Titans are 3-0, but I'm not at all sold on their team in 2020. My bold prediction right now is that the 0-3 Texans win this division. The Titans' 3-0 record have come against opponents who have a combined record of 1-8, and the Titans only won their 3 games by an average of 2 points per game. This team is overrated. At 12, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's hard to know who the Bucs are at this point, but we should find out over the next 4 games because the Chargers, Bears, Packers, and Raiders provide a diverse set of challenges for the Buccaneers to overcome. Tied at 12, the Indianapolis Colts. It's interesting that the Colts and Bucs are tied because they have had similar seasons. Both teams have new veteran quarterbacks in town, both teams have Week 1 divisional losses, and both teams had layup victories in Weeks 2 and 3. Also, like the Bucs, we don't know the Colts' identity right now, but these next couple of games should provide clarity. The Colts' next 2 opponents are the Bears and the Browns. At 11, the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams really should have won in Week 3, but a bad pass interference call kept Buffalo in the game. Despite the loss, I still love the Rams this year. McVay seems to have innovated his approach and somehow made the team more dynamic with less dynamic weapons. Plus, game wreckers Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey on their defense make the Rams a legit threat to Seattle in the NFC West. At 10, the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals are good, but they are still overrated by my power rankings through 3 weeks. They suffered an embarrassing loss in Week 3 to the Lions, and Kyler played poorly. Luckily, the Cardinals have a couple of layup games against the Panthers and the Jets over the next 2 weeks. If they want a shot at the playoffs this year, the Cardinals can't afford to lose either of those games. At 9, the New England Patriots. The Patriots are going to be a team that is only beaten by the NFL's most elite teams. The Patriots are the best game planners in the NFL, and with their diversity of options, it's tough to know what to expect as an opponent. Every game is unique, and every Patriots game plan is unique. It goes without saying, but the Pats truly have the most exceptional coaching in the league. At 8, the Chicago Bears. The 3-0 Bears team is super overrated by my algorithm right now. My eyes tell me that they are a lot worse than the 8th best team in football. Like the Titans, the Bears' 3 opponents' combined record right now is 1-8. Luckily, the Bears have to take on a couple of real challenges over the next 2 weeks against the Colts and the Bucs. The next 2 weeks will certainly give us a more clear idea of the power rankings hierarchy. At 7, the San Francisco 49ers. Another overranked team by my algorithm, the 49ers' schedule has been the easiest in the NFL. Because of that, they have the most net points in the NFL, the 11th most points for in the league, and the second fewest points against. Even with an easy record, doing what they've done with the injuries they have had has been impressive. At 6, the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers' defense is truly the definition of elite. All they need is a running game and Roethlisberger to play competently. Luckily, Big Ben is exceeding that expectation at this point, and James Conner is running like he's still in his prime. The Steelers are one of the few dark horses that could potentially challenge the Chiefs and the Ravens in the AFC. At 5, the Seattle Seahawks. Russell Wilson is getting the MVP this year. That's what it feels like at this point. When you watch him play, it's just pure perfection. All my money is on the Seahawks to win the NFC this year until I see something less than perfect from Russ. At 4, the Buffalo Bills. The Bills really earned their 3-0 record and the respect of the NFL by beating the Rams in Week 3. While Russell Wilson is certainly the MVP this season so far, Josh Allen is probably second in that race. I would also say that Allen is my favorite player to watch right now. He is so damn electric. Bills vs. Raiders this weekend should be the 4th exciting Bills game in as many weeks. At 3, the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens had a really poor showing against the Chiefs on Monday night. The Ravens don't have a team that is built to play from behind. As a team, the Ravens are excellent bullies, the best frontrunners in the NFL. But if you put the Ravens in a hole, I'm not sure they're able to climb their way out. At 2, the Green Bay Packers. The Packers are the real deal Holyfield this year. Aaron Rodgers is zen and dialed in. The Packers have the NFL's easiest schedule in my opinion, so although I don't think they are the best team, they probably have the best chance of any team to go undefeated in 2020. If you look at their schedule, they are easily the favorites for every remaining game this season. And of course, number 1 is the Kansas City Chiefs. I feel like the Chiefs might have been overlooking the Chargers in week 2 because they looked so damn prepared for the game against the Ravens in week 3. The Chiefs dominated a Ravens team that was the consensus number 1 team in the NFL. Well, now the Chiefs are the consensus number 1 team in the NFL. It's funny how much things can change in 1 week. After week 2, I thought the Chiefs didn't have a chance to repeat as Super Bowl champs. After week 3, it's hard to imagine anyone being able to stop them. If you made it all the way to the end, please like and share this video. Subscribe to my channel and click the bell to be notified when my next Power Rankings video is up.